Hello there, I'm Jimmy Vegas and welcome to the fifth video in a series of game development tutorials on how to make your own first-person shooter game in Unity. This tutorial will be adding some animation to our gun and stop it firing multiple times. Remember to subscribe and click the notification bell to stay up to date with every tutorial I upload. Feel free to leave a comment and drop a like. I also have a Patreon page where you can help be a part of this channel, and you'll find all the scripts and the assets to this series there too, along with plenty of other things. You can also now join as a free member. Now, on with the tutorial. So up until now, we have our gun that fires, and it fires repeatedly over and over and over and over and over if we hold down our left mouse button. Now, the reason it does that is simply because there is no real control of what is happening with our script. So what I want to do first is create an animation for our weapon, and then we'll fully modify our script to make sure that it only plays whenever we click our mouse button, and it also displays our animation. So to do this, we can use our animation tab for our weapon. So if we go to our weapon right there, and if we go to our assets folder, right click, create new folder, call this animations. And in here, I'm going to create a new folder again and have weapons. So any animations referring to weapons, whether we use a machine gun or sniper rifle or anything like that, which we will get to, any animations that we create with it will be placed inside this folder. So this M9 now, let's go to animation and let's click on create, and we'll call this hand gun fire. Now, what will happen as you do that is you will see what looks like a scale going across here. You'll see some buttons up here, recording, fast forward, play, whatever, add property. That's all normal. So once you see this, you'll know you are in the correct place to create that animation. Now, how do we do it? Well, let's click on the record button right here. And what we need to do is set our keyframe. What is a keyframe? The keyframe is the initial position that a weapon is in. So right now, we want our weapon to start in its current position. And if we ever change that, we just need to change the initial keyframe as well. So because we're going to be changing some of the position and the rotation of our particular weapon, what you will need to do is over here where you have position, X, retype here whatever number is there. So 0.37 for me. If it's different for you, you do the same. 0.43. And over here, 2.48. Rotation, set this as 1 and then back to 0. Same with the Y, 1 and then back to 0. And same with the Z, 1 and then back to 0. The reason we do this is because we need the keyframe to be set, and you'll see that is the case with these little dots here. It's set the position and the rotation as whatever it is now. So it means that if we were to change the gun to be, let's say, 50 on the Y, that would be how the gun instantly starts. And we don't want that. We need that to be set as 0 or whatever you currently have as your first frame. Next, as we're working in 60 frames a second, we can go frame by frame or 5 frames by 5 frames, 10, whatever. You can go to any frame and set the next point of position and rotation. So what I mean by that is I want our gun to fire and it kind of jolts back a little bit, aims upwards a little bit because of the recoil. So let's go to let's try frame 15. Hit return, and you'll notice it moves along here. So what I want to do is I want to bring our gun backwards a little bit and downwards just a little bit and rotate on the X so it goes upwards just a little bit. So it's just fired like that. And after we fired, what we need to do is we need to basically set our final keyframe as where we want the gun to be back in position. So just to kind of illustrate this, it won't jump from that position to that position. It will animate itself. That is what the keyframes mean. They will animate between each one. So it will glide back and forth between. So for example, if we go to keyframe 60, which is 1 second, so it takes us 1 second to fire a gun each time. We'll just go with that time frame for now. We now need to set all these back to what they were previously. So we can set that back to 0, set the Y back to 0, same with the Z back to 0. And if you can't remember what you originally set them as, you can click on your keyframe right here at the top, and you can see. So it was 37, 43, 248. So back here, 37. I've forgotten already, actually. 43, so we can set that back to 0.43. And on the Z was 2.48. Now, I'm going to now press the record button once again. And what that will do is it will stop the animation. It will stop it, so we don't need to... If we change anything now, it doesn't change it in the animation. What we can do is press play, and we should be able to see the gun move repeatedly. Give it a second just to load. There we go. That seems okay. I mean, maybe it could be a bit quicker, but again, it's entirely up to you how you want to do your animation. So let's maybe change this to half a second firing. So let's say you're not happy with your animation. Let's press the record button once again, and you can move your actual. Oh, do you know what? That file keyframe should be 0. You can actually set these keyframes at different places. So, for example, if we move these keyframes to there and these keyframes to there, the animation will now play much faster. So, let's press play again and we'll see a faster animation from our weapon. Yeah, that'll do just fine. Take a bit more time than what I've done here. Play around with some of the settings, play around with the variations of what you can do with your weapon. Don't be afraid to pause the video here and take time to change how you want your gun to look. If you want your gun to have hands or anything, you can go to the asset store and use a gun, get some hands and guns there. I've just provided you with a nice free asset that you can use. Obviously, you could pay for some assets that probably look better than what we have here. This is only free after all. Next thing we need to do is go back to our project and click on this animation right here. So the triangle is the animation. This is known as a controller, and this is known as the animation. We need to untick loop time up here. Now, the issue that we currently have is that when we start the game, the gun will automatically just fire. We need to prevent that from happening. Although it doesn't repeatedly fire, we need to stop that from happening and only have it play whenever we fire our gun. In order to do that, we need to go into this controller. So double click the controller and it will open up an animator window. Hold down the middle mouse button and we can pan around a little bit. Now, this basically means that the entry point for the animation is going to be handgun fire. So as soon as anything starts, it's going to try and play the handgun fire animation, but we don't want it to. We want it to play no animation. So to prevent that from happening, we right click anywhere on the grid, create state, empty. You'll have something called new state. Right click on new state and set as layer default state. What this means now is that whenever the game starts, it will try playing this animation, but this isn't an animation, it's just empty, so no animation will play. So let's go back to scene view and then press play, and we'll just make sure that that is the case. Excellent. So, how do we make it all come together now so as we can only fire our gun once every half a second and play that animation? Easy. Let's go to our script that we wrote in the last tutorial, which was handgun fire. Open it up in Visual Studio. So because we are now referring to the gun as having an animation on it, we need to declare that as a variable. And if you remember, we declared a variable up here being gun fire. So let's now declare one for the actual handgun. So serialize field in square brackets, game object. Remember, capitalization is important. We'll call this handgun, semicolon. Now, this is where things start to get a little bit more complicated when it comes to coding. We need to use something called a coroutine at this point. The reason why we need to use a coroutine is simply because we need to control when and how something would happen using time. For example, we only want our gun to fire every half a second. We need to use a coroutine to prevent it from being fired at any other point. So to do that, let's go to void update, and where we have here the close curly bracket, just go a couple of lines below and type I enumerator, and we can call this, let's call it firing gun, open close bracket, open curly bracket, and hit return. So, a lot to digest here. What is an I enumerator? Well, that is how you declare a coroutine. What is firing gun? That's the name of our coroutine. We've literally just called it firing gun. Why is it underlined red, like it looks like there's an error? Don't worry about that at all. The reason this is currently confused is because there is no basically waiting inside this coroutine. The coroutine would expect you to yield, i.e., wait, within its line of code, and currently it doesn't. But we will be putting that in. So, firing gun is going to be the full method, full coroutine, sorry, that we use to fire the gun. So, what is that process of firing a gun? Well, it's gunfire dot play, open close bracket, and we also need to play that animation on the gun. So to do that, we say handgun dot get component, and in spiky brackets, animator, open close bracket, dot play, and in brackets and quotes, the name of the animation that we created a couple of minutes ago, which was, in our case, handgun fire. So let's type that in here. Handgun fire. Another quote, close bracket, semicolon. Currently, it still says it's underlined because it looks like there's an error, but there isn't. But this line here, let's establish what exactly is going on. We are taking our handgun, we are accessing the component called animator, and we're playing the animation handgun fire that is linked to it. So if we go to our gun, you'll see that it's accessing this component, and this component right here has this animation that we created. So it will play it using that line of code. Next thing we need to do is we need to wait for half a second. So yield, return, new, and then wait for seconds, and in brackets, 0.5 with an F, with a close bracket and a semicolon. Why have we done this? Well, we want the script to wait for half a second. That's what we're saying, but why the F? A decimal number is known as a float in C sharp. So in this case, it's not a whole number, so we need to put an F just to make sure that it knows that it is a decimal number. If we were to remove the F, you would end up with a script that wouldn't work. It thinks it's an error. So whenever you use a decimal, always put an F after. And you'll notice that it has stopped being underlined here, which makes it think, oh, yes, this coroutine is working just fine. So next thing we need to do is we need to make this script know when it can and cannot fire a weapon. So we now need to create another variable, which is going to be a bool. And a bool can either be true or false. There are only two possible values. So serialized field, once again, bool with a lowercase b, and we'll call this can fire, semicolon. So this is saying, can we fire? As we start the script, by default, we will make this as true because, yes, we can theoretically fire at any given point. We could do the inverse of this if we wanted to and say, is firing as the bool? And obviously we wouldn't. So we'll try this way and then we might switch to the other way, depending on how you prefer to code. So what we need to do is we need to say if input.getMouseButton 0, we can either nest this if statement or we can include the if statement. I will do it nested just for now, but we will get round to including double if statements a little later on. So we can get rid of gunfire.play because we already have it down here in our coroutine. And we can say if can fire equals, and that's a double equals, true, close bracket, open curly bracket. And why do we use a double equals there? Well, when we use double equals, it's a way of checking, is it equal to something? When we use a single equals, we are making it equal to something. So if can fire equals true, we need to instantly say can fire equals false because we don't want to be able to run this coroutine multiple times. After that, we put start coroutine and in brackets the name of the coroutine that we had down here. So in this case, firing gun, open close bracket, semicolon. So what will happen here is if we can fire our gun, it will say, no, we can no longer fire it, but we will still run this coroutine. It will play the gunfire. It will play the animation. It will wait for half a second. After that, we need to say, can fire equals true, because we want the process to be able to go over and over and over. So resave that script. And if you do have any problems with this, head to the pinned comment, click the link. You can download this script for free. It's also in the description if you need it. Head back into Unity, give it a moment just to compile. And if we go to global object, handgun right there, we just need to drag and drop our weapon onto there. And now, this is where it all should hopefully come together. If we press play, we should be able to look around and let's fire our gun. Perfect. So, you'll notice right now, it doesn't like the fact we are trying to animate the gun again. Either way, if we hold down the mouse button, that's what we get. We can't play the animation over and over and over. Now, one thing that we can do is we can use this new state value to our advantage because we can not necessarily confuse the script, but we can revert back to this script and have it play or replay this one so as it can reset handgun fire. So let's go back to our script. Let's take this right here and let's place it after yield return new. Wait for seconds. And let's change it from handgun fire to new state or whatever your empty state is. What I am going to do is I'm going to wait for just a brief split second after it as well. It's up to you whether you want to, but let's put this as 0.1. Resave. Let's head back into Unity after it has had compile. Shouldn't take too long, it's only a small script. And seeing everything looks okay, so now let's press play. And we can do whatever we want with the handgun. We can fire at the wall, fire it into space. Doesn't really matter. Perfect. Hold the mouse button. Perfect. So, we've now got everything in place for our weapon to be firing as normal. And yes, I know it's just an animation and a sound, but this is how you build things up into a fully fledged game. Next tutorial, what we'll do is we'll work on some UI. We'll add some crosshairs in, so a little rectangle in the middle of the screen. Remember to subscribe and click the notification bell to stay up to date with every tutorial still to come in this series, and I'll see you in the next one.